So again, you see lots of crystals out there in the garden.
Yes, it's we get to here, and then looking out, we can see a courtyard within the archives. God, this guy. And crystals sprouting up out of the ground out there, and that is
And if this were any other
ultimately
game, you would probably just think like, oh, that's a nice background. But we are, of course, going to go there.
yes.
Because you
God,
go everywhere
I
in
hate
Dark
these
Souls.
archers.
Unlike Dark Souls 2, where you go nowhere. If you haven't been able to tell yet, I don't like Dark Souls 2 very much.
You've kept it such a secret.
I do not hide my anger towards that game.
And then, of course, over here we can once again get a look down at an Orlando. So this is headed back toward the front. And here we are back in the same area that we were in before. Only now we are on a higher level.
Now this part, you got to be really careful. So to your left is going to be a magician who teleports. So you want to
Yes.
try and hit him as much as you can. If you can kill him outright, great. If not, he will teleport.
Which, of course, I can't. But yeah, channelers are going to be attacking you from all
Right.
sides in this
And he
one.
teleports directly behind where he was on the other
Ow.
side, so you can just run over there and try to kill him if you want. There's another guy bombarding you from there.
Yeah, this is
a lot of
where
fun.
this is
It's
where
a
the
lot of
first guy
fun.
teleported to.
This whole area is loads of fun.
And of course
There's
you've got
tree-style skeletons everywhere.
archers coming at you.
And those channelers do respawn, so hooray.
Yeah, if you wanted to farm their weapon, I guess.
Well, I just meant it if you thought that you could only need to kill them once because it's difficult with them there, you're wrong. They're going to be there all the time.
Oh god, these just...
So much arrow.
yeah. Anyway.
And dudes come from everywhere.
Yeah.
That guy came from behind the sort of tunnel we just came out of, right there.
Yep.
So again, you could probably kill him first.
And
if you-
so we see here that there are essentially two of these larger rooms that have a lot of floors to them.
and there's going to be little turning wheels that turn staircases around.
Yeah, and that the staircases here rotate. And so this is sort of a rudimentary puzzle. And arrow in the back, of course. About how to rotate the stairways in order to get to the right level to then progress.
But before rotating right away, you want to go everywhere because there may be chests and things like that.
Yes, there are. So now that we've cleaned this out, we
Also, you
will...
don't want archers shooting at you all the time.
Yep, we will rotate the stairwell that's going to give us access to this level at the top and then this level at the bottom. And we're going to go
At
up
the
here and kill this guy. I don't think there's anything down there, so I'm not really going to bother. Oh well, I guess we can check it out.
You're going to miss the Ultimo gear.
Yeah, I know. That's definitely what's down here.
The recipe for Ultima weapon that you can
Certainly not a big lot of nothing. I know there's a chest. There's a chest.
It's the recipe for Ultima weapon.
Which is not a mimic. Twinkling. So now that we've rotated it...
Home, and if you get a Twinkling Titanite, just restart the game and then reopen it until you get the Ultima weapon recipe. Trust me, that's what you gotta do.
That's exactly how it goes. So now we're on the top level that we get to on this side, so now we're going back around where there's going to be another archer.
So much arrow.
So much arrow. And then, of course, there's another channeler over there on the top of that one waiting for us. And this one you actually have to fall down on. And once he's...
You just gotta take a leap of faith here.
And then this area is actually safe. And then
Because everyone knows magic missiles can't deal with
He, of course,
steroids.
vanishes to the other side. And we'll get to him in a second. Not a mimic. And this is a sorcery for a strong magic shield. And then over here is, I think, a big lot of nothing.
Big lot of nothing.
Big lot of nothing. This is more thorough than I've explored the archives in a while.
You don't like this level for some reason. It's one of my favorites. It's super cool.
I don't know. I just always end up sort of rushing through it.
I mean, I like it more than the Giant's Tomb or the Isolith.
So now we're back to where we were, but now this platform is down here. And this takes us to where we finally get out. Like I mentioned earlier with the sequence break thing, if you do it when you're in the elevator before you get to the seat where you have to die, you roll off essentially right here and land right here. So you can skip all of that stairwell turn and stuff, and you just run right over here.
But why would you want to?
And boom, you're where you need to be. And then there's another guy shooting arrows who we're going to ignore and slide all the way down.
I think it's whom we're going to ignore, by the way.
Yes. And then you can pull this crank, which moves a bookshelf and deposits us back in this area where we can finally get to a bonfire.
A bonfire.
And then here we can see we were up there, and now we're down here where we get another view of the crystals in the distance.
So we're getting closer to that garden, everyone.
Yep. And then there's probably dudes in here, but I just ignore them. I don't care. And then over here, we get to a chest, which is not a mimic, as well as a lot of books. Still more books. And this contains a blue Titanite chunk. Blue chunks are used to upgrade magic and enchanted weapons past a certain amount. This game, unlike Dark Souls 2, this game has different colored chunks for the different elemental paths you can take. And blue chunks are for magic. And then here is another chest, which contains the Channeler's gear. And then over here is another chest that contains the key that we're going to have to go back and do. And then over here is a mimic, which someone has conveniently placed a thing for us.
Saying, beware.
Yep, so that's going to kill him. And he's going to drop the Enchanted Falchion, which is a good weapon. And then back behind this is a chest that I didn't know about for the longest time. But this is where you get the Crystal Ember that allows you to make crystal weapons, which have really good stats on them, but have very low durability and cannot be repaired. So they're sort of, you make them and they're great, but as soon as they run out of durability, they're gone.
They're just a temporary shot.
Yep. So
You pull that lever, and that's going to give us a way out.
Yep. Along with yet more of these friends of ours. And then back here, there is another chest, which contains
Chests galore.
prism stones, which
What are those going to do, I
may in
wonder?
fact be useful later. But first, oh no, I already rested the bonfire, so we'll use that key later on, or should I go do it now?
Can you warp to that one?
I don't know. Let's see. Anyway, so that fog gate takes you out to that courtyard where we've been seeing.
Yeah, we'll do that after. I mean, let's just do the cave and see first.
Oh, well, I'm already on the way back.
All right. Well, if you can't warp there, forget it, because it's going to take forever to backtrack.
Well,
that
that's
way.
the way that works.
Plus, you rested, so we've got to redo all those.
Yep. Nope, doesn't look like you can. So,
All right,
yeah,
do it another time.
we'll come back and do that afterward. So anyway, yeah, you go through more books everywhere. And you go down here where this guy's back because I just rested again. Actually, hold on. I should probably go turn human because I think there's an invasion out here that I don't think I've
Just
ever
don't worry about it.
done. No, well, I'm supposed to be human anyway.
Oh, sigh.
What does it matter? This is all gonna get cut.
Is it?
Yes. Alright, so we turned human, and now we're coming back through here. And we're in this courtyard where there's crystals.
And there's a lot of giant crystal monsters here. The big old golems are
Yep.
everywhere.
And actually, if we, whoop. There's a special crystal golem that appears here once we progress our good Onion Knight bro Stigemeyer's story, and we'll come back to him later on.
Yeah,
So,
but you gotta do Izalith first for that.
yeah.
This is, all the different characters have pretty cool side stories. You just need to look online and figure out what you need to do and where, because it's really hard to know what order you should do things, or...
You know. Or you could
Otherwise.
explore. And then over here we have a blue chunk. And over here we have a little gathering of these guys.
A little coffee clutch. They're talking about the football game. Near the water cooler.
Yeah.
And these guys drop something good, right? Don't they drop blue titanite or something?
I think they drop blue chunks. I
Blue
want to
chunks,
say...
yeah. So this is sort of a place to farm that, or whatever that item is. That's
Yeah, I want to say that these guys can be... You can get blue chunks from them, and this is the sort of primary farming location for them. And I thought somewhere around here there's a body where you can get that crystal guy that we fought before Seath, where we can get his gear.
I don't recall.
Anyway, well, we'll look around while we're here. Hold on. There it is. Yep, the crystalline armor. And so coming down here, a lot of crystal stuff, and in fact we can see some trees turn to crystal, so this crystal obviously isn't natural. This is magically
And
made.
you'll see it looks like sort of a cave opening down there.
Yep. And of course, we remember these golems that we've been talking about. They were in Darkroot Basin near the Hydra, and also near the Moonlight Butterfly, which we learned from its description was not a natural creature, but in fact something constructed.
So again, what was Seath doing in Ulasil?
Yes.
There might be something to that.
Yep. And as we head down in here, we will discover more of those Moonlight Butterflies to learn that they are a whole species of creature. That's
Now this cave is really difficult because the floor is invisible.
way to give it away.
Well, we're right there. I mean, I'm just telling them.
But yeah, the gimmick to this area is that there are the pathways. One, all these pathways are pretty narrow, and two,
They're
a good many
invisible.
of them are invisible.
And if you think like, oh, well, in what way? It's just in the way that things are invisible.
Yes,
You will
and-
not see the floor.
Yeah, see, here's one that's invisible, but there are little crystal falling, little bits falling on the ground to sort of inform you, hey, there's actually
A path here.
a path here to help lead us to.
And
this
some of these are
humanity.
really unsettling because you're like in the middle of nothing,
Yes.
and it's pretty scary. But if you
Yeah.
just watch where Dave goes, you'll learn what's
and
what's
see-
what.
There's Moonlight Butterfly, and you can aggro these things and kill them. They will not aggro on their own. They are not hostile. But if you want to fight them, you can.
Most certainly can.
But they have all of the same abilities the other one had, including standing back and firing a lot of magic at you. So if you don't have range, I really wouldn't recommend it. I would probably say just leave them alone, especially since the platform here is so precarious. So this is one of the platforms, and luckily a lot of people have written on this one to help guide us over here. So yeah, this is kind of unnerving.
And if you remember, those prism stones are things that you can drop, and they leave sort of a color there, so
Yes.
that you can see where you've been and where the path
Yeah, a
is.
prism stone just drops on the ground and leaves a little color, and it's sort of like a marker you can
And
place.
this dude, I don't believe respawns.
No, he does not respawn. This guy is stronger
Sort of a
than most
hyper-
of the golems.
He's a
and
hyper golem.
he will not respawn. Are you kidding? He's got like 5 hit points. There we go. And so right here, this is the point where there's a moonlight butterfly you can go to. This pathway is the way to the boss, to Seath Redux. And you can fall down onto nothing. But if you turn around and go through here, 1, you'll find a crystal lizard that just ran away. And 2, you'll see there's a path over there to an item. I am not going to do this. The item is the blue Titanite slab for upgrading 1 magic or enchanted item to its max level. But the pathway to it is not straight, and in fact bends back and forth a few times. And you really do have to just take 1 step forward, drop a prism stone, take 1 step forward, drop a prism stone, and you are very likely to die. So I'm
it's
just
pretty terrible.
And since we're never going to make an enchanted or magic weapon in this playthrough, I'm going to skip it. And instead we are just going to go straight on. And you can also drop down there to get an item that I think is a soul that is not worth it. I mean, instead we were
if
just
you drop
gonna...
down to get that soul, there is a way, like, you can then take another invisible bridge back up. Like,
Yes.
it's not a dead end, but it's not really worth it.
Yeah, and you can see the developers did help us here a little bit by having these little falling snow-like crystal bits landing on the bridge to sort of give you an indication of where it is if nobody's put any messages down. And then over here there is a soul, but I think this soul aggroes this butterfly.
I don't think it does. I think you can get it.
Soul of a hero. Okay, good then.
And no aggroed butterfly.
Yep. And then in this room are our good buddies, the clams, which we actually haven't seen in this playthrough yet, because they're in another area we skipped. But these are big clam creatures that like to run up and...
We didn't do Ash Lake in this one?
Nope, not yet.
Ugh. Oh, Lord. Yeah, and these guys actually are pretty tough. They kind of suck, and they hurt a lot. So just be careful. They have
Yep.
a ramming attack. And you just need to whack at them.
Yep, and if you'll notice, the pearls inside them are actually human skulls.
It's very Lovecraftian.
And these are actually the only enemies in the game where they'll drop purging stones, which actually cure you of a curse. I think they're the only way that you can farm purging stones. Now, you can buy them from
you can also... You don't have to... If you are careful enough, you can run through all of these and just trigger the boss fight, and then they'll just sort of be around and die in the boss fight.
Yes.
But then you run the danger of them not dying immediately and then killing you as you're focused on the boss.
Yes.
So it's
and
really up to you whether you want to fight them first or no.
you see, this area is kind of unique where they are trying to spring a boss fight on you, so you don't actually see it coming. And so, like, down there, that's the boss door. But it's not covered by fog.
Well, until you die.
Well, until you die or until, you actually trigger Seath to appear. Which means that, though, instead of having a boss fog that you can, run into and back into and then they can't pass through, you have just this open space, and so they can follow you into the boss room. Good lord,
Which
these guys.
we might ever see if Dave kills these clams.
Well, I'm trying not to die.
It's a noble effort.
Contrary to popular belief, it's not the easiest thing in the world to play and commentate.
Well, I wouldn't know, because I don't have a computer that could handle all these things. Actually, my new one might be able to handle Dark Souls, but maybe not streaming and Dark Souls.
and and Skype.
Yeah. But you know what isn't
Okay.
very difficult is criticizing the guy doing all those things.
True story. So that's all the clams. All right, and we got some more purging stones. All right. So now we're going down into this room where we're going to actually encounter
A cutscene.
and some more human curse statues, indicating that cursing may go on here.
Now you'll see a big old glowing thing down there. As soon as the cut scene is over, you just want to run over there and hit that. Right
Actually, there's another trick that I will be happy to show.
Well,
yes.
yeah, you want to wait till he gets close and then stun him, but the main thing is you want to hit that crystal before hitting Seath in any way.
Yeah, so that is the crystal of immortality that Seath stole from the dragons, which was what keeping him immortal. So destroying it is necessary for the boss fight.
And Seath doesn't have legs because he's some kind of albino freak.
Yep, and so the trick is you go right to it, and then you stand right behind it, and then instead of hitting it, you let him do an attack that will actually break the crystal for you and stun him for quite a while and give you the chance to get some good hits in. And now what we're actually going to do is run around and try to cut off his tail to get his tail weapon, which is quite difficult to do.
It's a good weapon for mages, right?
It's a very good weapon for mages.
Yeah.
Because it is the only weapon in the game that actually deals 100% magic damage. It is a sword, it is a great sword, but it does not actually do any physical damage. It does all magic damage. And it is actually the one weapon that FromSoft puts in all of its games, the Moonlight Greatsword. And we just got comboed to death.
That'll happen.
There was actually nothing I could do there.
Well, you could have dodge rolled it.
No, I mean, once I was hit once, there was no way to not get hit again.
Well, you could have not gotten hit once.
Fair enough. Alright, let's go with another round. This is actually round 3. I died to the clams in round 2, and I spared you that embarrassment.
But look, the third time's a charm.
Yep.
So again, keep in mind, if you do this, the clams will follow you in, but Seath's attacks will usually just kill them.
Well, they won't follow you in now, because there's a fog door in the way, but...
No, they'll still come in.
And he's lost sight of me. Okay, fuck it. There we go. So that renders him no longer immortal.
And you could see him get a little wobbly there because
Little hot and bothered by it.
He'll say, "Hey, where's my immortality?"
Yep. You can see him sort of rotating around.
Never mind, the clams don't. I guess it is only the first time.
Yeah, it's only the first
I always thought
time
it was
because
all the time.
enemies can't pass through the fog door. It's just the first time down. There is no fog door, so they follow you in.
I guess I'm so used to defeating him on my first try, I never
Oh
experienced.
yeah.
I'm kidding. I've never beaten Seath in one try. Actually, maybe I don't think I have. He's a very difficult boss, especially if you play the whole ring around the rosy to get to the
Oh
tail.
my god. Yeah, after I cut off the tail, I will show the best place to stand to fight him, which is right in his crotch.
It's the best place to fight most enemies, I've found.
Yeah.
In real life as well. Good attack to the crotch stuns most bosses you'll encounter in real life. So as you see, finding the tail is really not fun because it keeps spinning and turning, but it's
Yeah.
somehow doable. People do it.
You just gotta bait out one of those breath attacks. And then if you're behind him, he will go into this thing, and once he's done it, you may have an opportunity to actually get a hit on the tail, but don't bet on it and don't hope for it.
It's gone. I think you gotta just stay near him and dodge roll the stomp attack, and because otherwise you're not going to catch up to him. Oh, there it is. There's the tail.
Yeah, I know. I got one hit on it.
Well, that's one. Again, the actual hitbox for it is like the back tip, and it's not.
Yeah.
So if you hit the stem, it won't do anything.
Yeah, it really is just like a tiny fraction of the tip.
It's just the tip. It's a sexual joke
Yes, I thought so.
for those too young to understand. Well, you shouldn't be playing this game anyway if you're too young. I think it's rated M for mature.
Anyway, Seath is a strange dragon design. He's pretty unique in the game. No other dragon is shown to have his... Well, one, no other dragon is shown to have tentacles instead of legs. But also, he has strange sort of insect-like wings as opposed to the more traditional dragon wings that most of the other dragons have.
Well, he was... It's sort of implied that he was sort of like a physically deformed, not complete birth. Kind of. As we know, he didn't have scales and all that.
Yep.
So he just wasn't all there when he came out of Mama.
Yep. So that was another failure. And I think we have to call it now. So I guess we'll pick up on this shit show next time.
Yep. Take care.